So, this is the first lesson of the course, and I want to start by complimenting you, because you have decided to invest time and money to learn. Good job!
Let's start with two questions. Do you know which sector the 8D method was born in? Do you even know when? I'm going to leave you a few seconds to reason. Now it's time to reveal the secret. The 8D method is born from the military world of the United States and is linked to a military specification, to be precise to the Military Standard 1520. This standard was issued in 1974, revised in 1986, and then cancelled in 1996. You're probably thinking, what are you telling me? You tell me about a standard that hasn't been active for over 20 years. You're right, the standard is not active, but its contents were known in Ford, a company that was, by the way, a major supplier of the US government during World War II, which in 1987 created a document called Team-Oriented Problem Solving. The 8D method was then born. By the way, I ask you a question, in your opinion, by how many stages do you think this method is composed? Right, 8. And the letter D, do you know what it means? It stands for discipline. We can say that it is a problem-solving method that is structured through 8 main stages. I'm going to add one important thing: the 8D method is a tool that involves the order of its phases with a logic. It is not a simple document that must be filled out when the customer asks us. In years of consulting, I have noticed that this is one of the most widespread misunderstandings. In the face of a complaint, in fact, practically all companies in the automotive world ask their suppliers to give evidence of the management of non-compliance by compiling an 8D reports, and always more are being asked to compile on customer portals, which evaluates both content and response timelines. The 8D report is a document that is compiled in a manner consistent with the structure of the 8D method. About 8D report, if you search the internet you will find different templates. Starting from a very early model, in fact, several versions have developed over time, some simpler and others more complex. Unless specific requests from your customer, you can choose the template you prefer as long as the presence of the 8 steps and their correct sequence is guaranteed. In fact, to be effective in the solution of non-conformity, it is useful to use the method, then compiling the report will be its formal consequence. Sometimes, perhaps because of the low awareness on the instrument, the 8D is identified as the document to be filled in, perhaps even in a summary and without commitment, to send to the customer so he is happy. The correct approach is another. The 8D method is a useful tool for problem solving, it is not a simple document. Moreover, although it is now a classic in the automotive sector, there are more and more industrial sectors where customers are asking their suppliers to use it. We can now define it as a standard protocol of the most advanced quality systems. I open a parenthesis. Problem solving becomes more effective when using specific tools or techniques. There are in fact several problem-solving techniques in literature very well known and powerful. When I mention a technique in the course, I will always open a parenthesis to at least explain the base. However, I advise you to deepen them. Your problem-solving skill will improve at the moment you know well-established and effective techniques. Before I get into the 8 phases of the method, I stop on an important aspect: the difference between corrective and containment action. The corrective action is in fact that action whose goal is to eliminate the cause that created the problem. This is an important concept that I repeat to you: the corrective action goes on the cause of the problem. The containment action, in practice, is that action that does not solve the problem but is useful to limit the effects of the problem. Let me give you an example in the business field. We take a manufacturing company that has received a complaint from a customer because some of its products are not accordant. The company may decide to repair products that in this way come back compliant. Let me ask you a question: is repair a real corrective action? The answer is no, because the repair does not act directly on the cause of the problem. Repairing the product is a containment action because it reduces the effects of the problem. This is certainly a good thing but is not a solution to the problem itself. To initiate a corrective action, we will then have to first study the situation, understand the cause that caused the problem, and then initiate an action to eliminate it. Think about whether, for example, the products have become defective because of the wrong design of the production plant. With the repair of the products, the customer who claimed will be satisfied, but until the company fixes the setup of the plant, all subsequent productions will likely continue to be non-compliant. Well, at this point we can see the 8 steps of the 8D method, so we start to get familiar. Over the course we will see all these phases, each will be told in a specific lesson. I have a question for you: watch the first and last phases carefully. There is a word in both. What is it? Exactly. Team. The problem solving is tackled in team. We will see it better in the next lesson.